That wire is from the battery. Safety clip. Color to color, make sure your negative and positive are right. Safety clip back on. That's battery 1, the regulator. For this regulator, battery 2 is located right there. That is a IBEF, an ignition battery eliminator filter, so you don't need an extra battery for your ignition coil. It runs on 2 1-cell discharge ion batteries. I believe they're 2200 milli 2 cells. They say they're good for 15-minute flights. So this is where you charge them on. There's another one over here, which is right down there. A Dean's connector to charge them. It's all set to go. You got your on-off switches over here. Your full fuel tap here. Pop that off. Pop that out. Don't lose it. Insert your fuel. This is what we go with it too. Little fuel pump. And what we wait for is for it to come out right there, so we know we're full. Unless we can see the tank. Full enough. Pop the fuel. I run VX9 on mine. Turn that on first. This doesn't come with the kit. This is a $450 radio, 250 model memory, MX2. We're ready to go. It talks to you.
Mid rates, 3D rates, mid rates, low rates. Throttle cut, ignition battery charged.
So I got channel
Ignition, no
1
data.
for the ignition.
3D rates,
That's just your
low
rates. And I have another channel for one of the elevators, and it's programmed in auxiliary in the radio. Then all I have to do is turn the radio on. Radio's on. I got rudder. I can hear my throttle. This is the choke. Push it in, pull it out, I think. And then I want to verify that both of my batteries are hooked up, so I'm shutting that one off and turning this one on. And verify I have link. Now for the ignition. You look deep in there. When I turn the ignition on,
ignition battery charged.
the light comes on. When the light's on, that means it's ready to fire.
Throttle cut.
That will turn the engine off and stop the spark. Go into the spark plug.
Ignition, no data. Ignition battery charged. Ignition, no data. Ignition battery charged. Ignition, no data.
So you need a channel for that. Well, let's see if this beast will fire up. I'm gonna leave that off a second. Let's see what my choke is. I want to get some fuel in the carburetor. is to it. He just has to have a radio that he can program to make everything work. I think it's at least 7 channels. So the starter is going to come with it, even though it's probably not strong enough. Flight box here that I use to keep my 2-cycle in, and a bunch of screws, nuts, bolts. Flight box here. The reason there's 2 pumps is because whenever I was flying the big planes, the one side was for smoke and the one side was for gas. There is a tachometer in there. I think it works still. I haven't used it in years. But you use that to check your blade. You put it a few inches in front of it, behind the prop. Turn it on, it'll tell you the RPMs. So that's basically it. You'll find your 2 regulators in here with the 2 battery connections. Like I said, one battery is there, one battery is there. They used to be back here, but it was too tail heavy, so we moved the batteries up front to get the CG right, the center of gravity. So I always disconnect my regulators because they will drain the battery slowly. Put a safety pin on there for later. And hook up the other one. Disconnect it. It's got 2 antennas. One's facing that way. 3 actually. One's pointing out this way. And I believe the other one is right there. That's the other antenna. So they got an antenna going that way, you got an antenna going that way, and you got an antenna going that way. So it's very hard to lose radio contact. You got about 2 miles of radius. You won't see the plane anymore if it's that far away from you. Propeller guards for the carbon fiber prop. Pretty expensive. New River Modelers Club. I'm about 5 minutes from the flying field. Larry Steinfeld Field. So there she is. Then you got the prop rig. We're drilling propellers to fit it. Wheel pants I never installed just because I don't like to. They always get broken in the grass. This is what the ignition, not the ignition, but the regulators came out of. There was 2 of them. It's a pitch gauge, basically. Put it on your wing. You get your wings at 0%, set it to 0. And then whenever you move your servo, you can adjust in your radio how far you want it to move for your expo and all that. The DLE engine tells you all about the gas. It's mixed gas. I believe it's 32-to-1, but they didn't have a manual that came with this. It just came in a box, so I had to download this one, which is a Gold Wing, but it's got the same airplane that I'm looking at here, so it's like they copied it, except I have better hardware than they put on it. So basically that was the instructions. There wasn't much to them. A lot of it you had to know a little bit about. And this was the only thing that came on the front of the box. It tells you gasoline, wingspan, all that good stuff. Alright, looking forward to seeing you soon.